Absolute chaos in a bottle. No question about it. Ardbeg 10, Islay, single malt, Scotch whiskey, cask strength 61.7%. Call the fire brigade, check your smoke alarms. This is going to be rough. So, for decades, Ardbeg, the fans have always wondered about the classic Ardbeg 10, which has been around for years and years and years. How would it taste cask strength? Now there's an idea. Why, oh why, has it taken the marketing people at Ardbeg so long to bring this out? It has been wanted and craved for a long, long, long time. The word on the street is an interesting mix. So let's take a look at it. You know, Ardbeg, they finally listened. The marketing department has finally listened. It really is a staggering ABV. It's obviously cask strength, but that's a high cask strength for a 10-year-old whiskey as well. 61.7. My understanding is that when whiskey goes into the barrel, it's in and around that sort of 66, 67%. So they haven't lost an awful lot on the ABV over the years. Ooh. Ooh. All right, let's pour a little dram. Wow, it's very light, isn't it? It's light colored. Do you know, I've just literally poured that into a dram, or into the glass, sorry. I can smell it already. Classic Ardbeg, absolutely classic Ardbeg. You can, oh, wow, you've got that sort of classic DNA of Ardbeg. I think you would recognize it. A lot of Ardbeg fans, or a lot of Islay fans, people who are really into the heavy, peaty, smoky versions, would know this smell. Fantastic. Let's do the tech information first. Obviously, Ardbeg is an Islay whiskey, 10 years old, 67.1%. Its natural colour, well, you probably see that, it's actually very light. Non-chill filtered, and it is matured in American ex-bourbon casks. So there you go, and it's it is a committee release, isn't it? Yes, it's a 2026 committee release. So it's essentially the Ardbeg 10, with the volume knob snapped off. There's no question about that. Wow, so you get dense peat smoke, charred, you get that sea sort of spray, smoked bacon. It's melting the hairs on my nose. That's not a descriptor. It doesn't smell as completely overpowering as I thought it might. I've got to be brutally honest about that. Maybe I had a preconception, before doing the review. Maybe I had a preconception about how it was going to be. There's bonfire ash, obviously. There's maybe underlying sweetness. And maybe a salted caramel type of thing. And what's impressive is, that's 67.1, and it's not going boom. It's not really. Maybe I jest a little bit when it's sitting, my nose hairs on fire. It's not really, to be honest. Is it even as, should I say, sharp as the standard Ardbeg 10? I don't actually think it is. Certainly the 61.7, it lets you know it's there. It is powerful, but it's not overpowering. I'm nearly sort of afraid to taste it, you know what I mean? But I guess we should do it. First, intense sweetness. Bang. Sweetness hits you up the face, and then that Smoke, peat, lots of smoke. A little bit of lemon zest. There's a peppery spice there, sea salt, and there's a dryness on the palate. But man, that's, oh, peat and smoke, heavy. You know, surprising sweetness, massive amount of sweetness in there. You get that vanilla cream, toffee, biscuit milk, burnt sugar if you ignore the peat and the malt, or sorry, the malt, that's what you sort of get. Mouth feels enormous. You know, it's very, very rich, it's oily, it's chewy. Wow, I'm taken aback a little bit. Do you know you don't need water in that? That is so, you know, it's a classic sort of whiskey statement to say, but it's so well balanced. And it really is. That is so well balanced that the 61.7, I was expecting it to absolutely take my head off. Now, the peat and the smoke does. But everything else, wow, comes through very, very powerful, but very, very smooth and very easy. I mean, you could put some water in that if you wanted to. You drink whiskey how you want it, not as someone else tells you how you want it. But a few drops might open that out just a little more, you know. Personally, I think you should probably experiment with both. Don't put a lot of whiskey in, or sorry, a lot of water in there initially. Just dab it, a couple of drops, see if it changes anything. If it doesn't, a couple drops more. You know, it's hard to take the water out, but you get the idea. So the smoke is very, very large. The peat is very, very large. As I said, it's classic Ardbeg with nothing held back. There's no question. The core character remains intact. Smoke is just bigger. The texture is richer, and I think sweeter. For peat lovers, this is going to be an absolute dream. Islay people, Islay fans, man, you are going to be into this so big time. And I'm not enjoying it. It's just that Islay whiskey, peat and smoke is not specifically my friend. So from my whiskey scoring point of view, I was going to give this a 1 and shock you all. How can I give it a 1 barrel out of 5 barrels? That's ridiculous, because all my whiskey drinking friends who like peat and smoke reckon this is a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, which would be a 5 barrels. Awesome whiskey, just awesome whiskey. I have to be honest with myself. I have to put it out there that I'm not a large peat and smoke lover. So would I buy a bottle of this? No, I wouldn't. It's not for me. And on that basis, I guess I've got to be true, haven't I? I've got to say a 1 barrel for me. It's a 1 barrel scorer because it's not for me. 2 is interesting, 3 is a solid dram, 4 is excellent, and 5 is just awesome whiskey, which it is. But from a personal point of view, it's not my bag. So 1 barrel for this. Make sure you do subscribe, because it really does help the channel, helps it along. Hit a like on there as well. Leave a comment. Obviously you'll disagree, or some people who like Islay and smoke are going to disagree with my scoring, but that's all very good. That's all right. And until the next time, I say, sláinte.